The Iowa caucuses are less than 100 hours away. And with the start of this peculiar pageant of American democracy, the voting in campaign 2024 begins. It has become cliche to say each successive presidential election is existential, the most important in American history. Let's just say, with Donald Trump, the leading Republican candidate, calling for the creation of concentration camps, mass deportations, and the imprisonment of political prisoners, that this election indeed is one where the stakes have never been higher. Because for the first time in American history, there's a presidential candidate who overtly says elections only count if he wins. And he has lawyers arguing that as president, he has the power to order SEAL teams and Army Delta Force teams to kill political opponents if he so chooses. Now, let's talk about the voting and what's going to happen. There are three candidates left in the Republican primary. There are Trump, Nikki Haley, and Ron DeSantis. Trump is the 1 seed, Haley is the 2 seed, and Ron DeSantis is the 3 seed. If Ron DeSantis does not come into a respectable second position in Iowa, his presidential hopes are over. Finito, all done. Back to Tallahassee for Ron DeSantis, and he will go back to Florida like a wounded animal. He will be as severely diminished a politician as there is in the United States of America after running a truly, exceptionally, horribly awful effort for the presidential campaign. One of the interesting aspects about DeSantis is that he began 1 year ago as the front runner. And really, all he had to do was run the type of front porch campaign that George W. Bush ran in 1999. 1 year ago, Donald Trump was in a trough and Ron DeSantis was ascendant. All he needed was to summon the big billionaire donors and the activists, to invite them to the Florida governor's mansion and to position a TV camera out front. It would have caught people figuratively stepping over the line away from Trump towards DeSantis, but it was not to be. It is not the campaign he ran, and he crashed into the ground at Mach 8. Kaboom.
Governor DeSantis, let me ask you, what do you admire about Governor Haley?
Well, look, I mean, I think that, at the United Nations, I did think that she spoke out strongly on some key issues, and I appreciated that. I also appreciate the state of South Carolina. My wife is a College of Charleston graduate. Her parents lived there for many, many years, and so it is a wonderful state. There's a lot of great people there, and I think to be able to have been governor there is a great achievement, and I really appreciate everyone I've gotten to meet in South Carolina.
Governor Haley, what do you admire about Governor DeSantis?
I think he's been a good governor.
Okay.
Ron DeSantis will be out of the race 1 week from today, and that will leave Nikki Haley and Donald Trump. And then the mirage will start to clear, and everybody will see what is plainly evident. These aren't competitors. This is your 2024 MAGA GOP ticket. Trump and Haley. Nikki Haley is a very ambitious woman. She will be the vice president, and happily so, knowing full well that being vice president, queen of the MAGA empire in waiting, means one day she will likely be the president of the United States and fulfill her ambition. She's shrewd enough to have an appreciation for the value of patience. Now, there's something that needs to be said about the difference between Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. What Ron DeSantis did is unforgivable for Donald Trump, and he will punish him for the rest of his life so long as he has the power to do it. For it was Trump who made DeSantis, who created him from whole cloth. And it was DeSantis when he was at his strongest point, at his apogee, and Trump was at his lowest, in a trough, when DeSantis decided to challenge him. DeSantis went for the crown, but he missed. Nikki Haley had nothing better to do. Trump understands that. She's a politician. What was she going to do? Run for governor of North Carolina or Georgia? The only path for Nikki Haley was to run for president. And Donald Trump will like how she campaigned. He'll like how she did it. He'll think she was good on television. And he'll like how she defenestrated all the men who attacked Trump and were disloyal to him. It's the tryout. So Trump won't even mind if Nikki Haley were to beat him in New Hampshire. What does Trump care? He lost a primary to Ted Cruz in Wisconsin. In the end, everybody falls in line. Trump knows that. Nikki Haley will be the first to fall in line, and Trump knows he needs that. It's the signal that it's over and that everybody better be in a race to avoid the retribution and the punishment that is to come. Nikki Haley may win the New Hampshire primary, but even if she does, there's no other place on the map where she will conceivably win. Not even her home state, which unfortunately for Nikki Haley is next in the line. So let's say Nikki Haley wins the New Hampshire primary after showing strong in Iowa. What happens when she loses her home state of South Carolina, where she was the governor for 8 years? It's like driving a car into a wall at 200 miles an hour. Kaboom, it's over. The simple truth of the matter is, the extremist movement in America at this hour is better organized, funded, better led than it has ever been. And Donald Trump controls the Republican Party lock, stock, and barrel. He controls it completely, totally, and absolutely. He will be the Republican nominee. And at this moment, the Republican nominee is 24 hours away from standing in a New York courtroom castigating a judge. He is fighting on all fronts. And Trump is building an army that will do anything for him, that will do anything to take power, to punish, to seek revenge against those they don't like, that they think are different, unworthy, less than, or in their way. What the Iowa caucuses commence is the beginning of a most dangerous season in the United States. The election season will be chaotic. It may become violent. It will be unlike anything we have ever seen in the United States of America, at least in a very long time. And by that, I mean the 1850s. Buckle up. The Iowa caucuses are here.